Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. We would like to thank the Grant MacEwan Environmental Studies Institute for co-sponsoring this event tonight, as well as the Grant MacEwan University for hosting us. They've been very generous with this seminar series. Tonight we have a wonderful speaker, just came in from Ottawa. Tim Weis is a professional engineer and the Director of Renewable Energy Policy at the Pembina Institute. Tim has co-authored numerous reports and manuals on renewable energy development and has assisted more than 20 communities at various stages of development of renewable energy projects. His recent publication, Greening of the Grid, Powering Alberta's Future with Renewable Energy, is a groundbreaking study of Alberta's electrical generation possibilities. Formerly an Albertan, Tim now lives near Ottawa, and he coordinates the Pembina's National Renewable Energy Program. And from that standpoint, he gets to see a lot of what's really going on in Ontario, which is very exciting right now, within the context of having a lot of information about where Alberta is at and where Alberta could be. So I'd like to ask you to help me welcome Tim Weis.
Thanks for having me here. It's good to be back at Edmonton. I lived here for the last 10 years or so, and I'm just recently back in Ontario, my home province, and so it's always a bit nostalgic, I guess, when I come back to Alberta and come back to the prairies, and then when I arrived and there was frost on the ground, I thought, oh, well, maybe frost in Ottawa, maybe I can stand living in Ottawa after all. But anyway, I'm really happy to be back, and I'm here tonight to give a talk. I've been doing a lot of lectures across the country recently. I was actually just in Nova Scotia yesterday morning, and was in Saskatchewan a couple of weeks ago, where there was 6 inches of snow on the ground at the time. But this is the first time I've given a talk like this and really talking about the big thing that Ontario has just done. And this is a day old or a couple of weeks old, but there was stuff that even got announced today or this morning, which I missed because I was on the airplane here. So this really is sort of fresh off the press, and this is exciting because I'm excited to be talking about this because this is stuff that's really in the ground and stuff that's really happening today. And so bear with me if I'm not overly polished because some of this stuff is brand new. But I'll talk a little bit about what's going on in Ontario and how that applies to Alberta. But I'll give you a quick background of the Pembina Institute, where I've worked since 2002. We're a sustainable energy institute, and we focus on sustainable energy solutions, but we also look at conventional energy issues. And we were actually founded as a result of the gas blowout in just outside Drayton Valley, which is where we got our name, the Pembina Valley there. And you can see, I think this is still one of Canada's worst industrial accidents. You can see the drill rig that was kind of blown out the top of that. That was a sour gas well, and I think a couple of workers were actually killed in that incident. But in any event, what happened there was that happened, and a bunch of people got together, and a bunch of citizens got together and said, how can we make sure something like this never happens? And the Institute was born out of basically making sure that the way we consume energy needs to be a lot cleaner, needs to start being a lot more responsible. So as Rob said, I'm a professional engineer. I came to Alberta originally to do my master's in mechanical engineering, and I looked at ice adhesion on turbine blades in the Arctic, and I'm also doing a part-time PhD. But some of the work I've also done in the field, you can see at the bottom there, and putting up met towers and putting in flow meters. And so we've actually done some work on the ground as well, as opposed to, or not just advocacy and research and that sort of thing, but also having done stuff on the ground. But really, the reason I do what I do is because I've got 3 little kids, and hopefully we leave a world that they can inherit, that they can live in sustainably. All the work that we do at the Institute is published, and it's online, and it's available. So the stuff I'm talking about tonight, you can find it on our webpage, and this presentation won't be, but I'm happy to send it to anyone if you want to get a copy of it. And as I said, one of the things I think that's unique about Pembina, as opposed to some other NGOs, is we actually do we have a consulting arm that actually does work on the ground, and that's when I started working with the Institute, was actually doing work in communities, and these are several different First Nation communities that I've worked in, looking at whether it's, these are hydro projects, this is wind energy monitoring, and obviously the public consultation that goes along with that. And we've also had some experiences in terms of what can happen to towers when they're not well maintained or not taken care of, and so I think we have I think we're speaking from background in terms of knowing what works and what doesn't work, and what can go wrong. So there's a list of the different communities we've worked with, all across Canada, obviously not too much in the east, but it sort of gives a breadth of the work that we've done.